Hey, Rob here for Quadratech.com. Today we're checking out the Overland rack from Fab Fours. Before we get into today's rack review, if you guys like watching these videos, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you're sure to catch this as well as plenty more. The Overland rack from Fab Fours is designed, of course, for the 2020 and newer Jeep Gladiator, and it's the perfect combination of form and function with a variety of different types of mounting points, tie-down solutions, and light mounting provisions, as well as an expandable rack to give you a lot of flexibility in mounting and bringing along all the gear you need for your next outdoor adventure. Now, just like everything else from Fab Fours, the Overland rack is made right here in the USA from strong 12-gauge steel. Now, the rack does feature a 500-pound capacity static load rating with the included 2 load bars, and that translates to a 300-pound capacity dynamic load rating. The rack is also available here in either your choice of a bare steel finish or, like we see here, their popular 2-stage matte black powder coat finish that they feature on some of their other products as well. Now, as I mentioned, the rack is expandable, and you can purchase separately the additional front portion of the rack, which will extend the Overland rack all the way forward over the cab portion of your Gladiator, allowing you to bring along even more cargo and gear on your next trip. As it stands out of the box, you're going to get both vertical support sides of the rack, one for the driver and the passenger side. You're also going to get this front core support piece here that ties the left and right together, giving you some lateral support in the rack, a front and rear fairing, as well as these top pieces of the rack that bolt to both the driver and passenger sides with this tube work, and as I previously mentioned, those 2 load bars. Now, those load bars are adjustable with pre-drilled holes across the top of the rack, spread out evenly with 3¼ inches on center spacing. Now, that's going to give you a lot of flexibility in moving these load bars around so that you can bring along your roof baskets, rooftop tents, bike racks, canoes, kayak racks, really anything you want to mount up here on top of your rack. Now, additionally, you can also purchase separately additional load bars so that you can create your own floor system up top to give you even more flexibility in the mounting locations and the amount of stuff that you can bolt up high on your roof rack. Now, that front wind fairing that I mentioned does feature some mounts on the top of it so that you can mount some forward-facing lights. Speaking of lights, you're also going to get provisions for mounting cube lights on both the sides and the rear of the rack as well. These cutouts are designed to work with popular 3-inch cube style lights, and they do mount the light from the side of the light, so that's just something to be aware of depending on the light you're mounting here. But the lights on the side are going to give you great flexibility at providing light to the side of your Jeep, whether it be a work site or your camping area, or maybe even just lighting up a dark trail. Now, on the back of the rack on the rear wind fairing here, you're going to get 2 more provisions for 2 additional cube lights back there to provide some lighting behind your truck. You can use those as auxiliary lights or maybe even wire them up with your reverse lights to provide you with some additional light behind your Gladiator. Now, as I mentioned, you're also going to get a ton of different mounting points pre-drilled on the rack. So as you can see, we've got these hole patterns down the side of our rack. These are spaced so that you can mount popular items like Rotopax mounts so that you can bring along extra fuel, water, and gear. Of course, you can also mount things like traction boards here, or even popular mounts like the quick fist mounts so that you can bring along axes or shovels or any tools you want to throw up on the side of your Overland rack. Moving down the rack, you see we've got a great foothold here on the front vertical support of the Overland rack. And this is going to give you really convenient access up high on the rack. So you can climb up on your tire, your bedside, and then get a really nice sure footing up high on the rack here to help you when you're loading and unloading gear up high on the rack. Now, as I mentioned, you're also going to get a lot of tie-down points with this rack. So you're going to get some tie-down points on the inside of our front vertical support as well as down here on the bottom. We've got a few holes across that front support. We've also got tie-down points at the base of each of these vertical support tubes on the rack. And because of the way that the rack is constructed up high with this truss style system, well, you've got even more locations where you can hook up things like ratchet straps or bungee cords to secure whatever type of cargo or gear you've got thrown in the back of your truck. Now, as far as mounting of the Overland rack goes, it does utilize all the factory mounting points found in the bed of your Gladiator for that factory trail rail system, meaning you're not going to be modifying your truck or drilling any new holes to get the rack installed on your Gladiator. If your truck did not come equipped with that trail rail, Fab4s does provide you with all the hardware you need to get it installed. If you do have the trail rail, well, you'll simply be unbolting that, removing it, sliding these vertical support pieces in place on the bed sides, and then reinstalling your trail rail on top of the Overland rack and resecuring it with all of your factory hardware. Now, in addition to that, Fab4s does also provide you with stainless steel hardware for any of the exposed fasteners on the rack, like we see up high on our fairing or down here on the side, for a really great finished look to the Overland rack system. If you guys want to get any more information or purchase the Fab4s Overland rack for your 2020 and newer Jeep Gladiator, you can click that info button to head over to quadratech.com. Of course, if you have any comments or questions about the rack or how to get it installed on your Gladiator, you can always leave those for us in the comments section below or contact us directly, any of the options on the screen. Till next time, I'm Rob. I'll see you guys out on the trail.